Yo, Daylyt, let me talk to you. Like on some response shit. Yeah, you do Tank Lip. What's really good right now? So let me respond to a couple things. I don't want to hear no shit about this is what I be talking about. Because, you're on a live video, so all I can do is fucking text a response. It's not like fucking Skype where it's like real interactive on some shit like that where I could respond. You could like hear some live like video interaction. So I gotta make a video blog of my own responding. I attempt to respond in like a more casual manner, like do some text response to some video shit you talking about Tank Lip, and then your responses in text to that live feed is this is what I'll be talking about. So you're undermining me. So I was gonna like walk away, but let me talk to some shit on some shit. All right, your video, all right, was first of all, props for you being on some dope shit, some new music you putting together, like some shit you on. Like I'm with all that. I respect you. I respect all that. But like on some real shit in my defense, like when it went on that tangent, when your live feed got distracted to some Tank Lip shit, and my bad, like if I'm at fault for some of that, like honestly I'm honored that like you would give it some of the shit I was texting on your live feed, some time where your live feed turned into like on some Tank Lip shit. But I didn't like what I was hearing. I'm hearing like a lot of hypocritical shit. In your video, you're talking to the point of making music to wake people up. The people that are asleep. Then you're also contradicting that, saying you ain't making music for the sleep people. The people that are asleep. But you're then also saying you want to make music to wake people up. Or maybe I got it misconstrued. Maybe you're saying you want to make music for the people that are awake. So fuck the people that are sleeping. They ain't ever gonna wake up. Okay, I kind of get that. Ignorant people are stubborn. All right, on some shit like that. So maybe if they still asleep at this point, they always gonna be asleep. So you're saying you're not gonna make music for those people. You're gonna make music for the people that chose to wake up, that are awake. All right. So then when I suggest, rather than get on any of this Tank Lip versus Daylyt battle shit, and out of respect for everything you rocking with right now, everything you saying, everything you're speaking to, that I could like respect you to the point where yours truly, Tank Lip, is like, yo, Daylyt, what about Tank Lip getting on a track with you? And then you got on your Tank Lip shit. And you're like, no, I can't fuck with you. I can't associate with people like you. I can't get on a track with you, Tank. And then saying that you can't associate with people like me and accusing the claim that you're suggesting that I'm some type of government agent. And that the shit about me being sick ain't true. That none of that is real. That I'm not a sick man. That all that is a farce. Okay? And really, you believe I'm so together, or that's the inference one could make. The implication of what you're saying is that if you're saying, you're suggesting I'm some type of government agent, you're suggesting I'm actually far from sick. I'm so stable and so together that I could be, because of the intelligence and togetherness and stability that I present, there's no way I'm crazy. There's no way I'm sick. That I'm really some type of government agent working for some type of government program. So let me now get on some shit that I was texting and kind of give y'all the synopsis of what I texted DAYLYT, like a Dear DAYLYT letter underneath that live feed after it was done. I got on some response shit and I texted it. But let me get on my video blog shit and basically... Dylan, oh my goodness. Let me basically give y'all a synopsis of what that Dear DAYLYT letter was basically pointing out like how hypocritical to say he can't associate with people, have people like me in his life, but yet he's saying he wants to make music for the people that are awake. To say people like me, he can't have them in his life is like to declare that I'm different than the kind of shit that he's on, when really I feel like, based on everything he's said before and the wavelengths and perspectives I have about the world, I feel like in a way me and him are one, and that ain't on some like twisted shit or like some creepy shit. I feel like the perspective of Tank Lip about the world I'm witnessing and the perspective that DAYLYT has for the world that he's witnessing. Okay, I'll get to that in a second, Dylan. But this is some real shit right now. Okay, and the interference of the frequencies right now has got it where my thoughts are clustered. So let me try to stay coherent on this shit. This is part of the problem. Okay? The perspectives that me and him are witnessing and observing the world, I feel like it's the same. So for DAYLYT to make a suggestion that he can't do a track with me because he can't have people like me in his life is to say I'm different from him. When really, let's go back to when he said a while back, like when a person disconnects and unplugs from the program, like what he might be calling like some government shit, like some secret government agency, government shit, like some program they have us on, like some real shit. And we disconnect from that because we become awake to the sickness of this quote-unquote program we're on. The brainwash and the other shit, the frequencies, like the controlled planet, like all that shit. All right? Basically, a man like myself has gone crazy, has gotten sick, just like DAYLYT suggested would happen to one when they did that. So, whatever you want to call it, that I'm affected or sick from awakening from some sick shit that DAYLYT even suggested one could go crazy. Whether you want to call that mental illness, one is mentally affected and ill and sick. So whether you want to call it a chemical imbalance or a sane man living in a crazy world, that is mental illness. I am mentally anguished. So let's not blasphemize my claims about mental illness. I've just had to now go through a program of other sorts where I try to heal from the other program that got me sick. Or maybe it's all one program where they make you sick just to make money off you and on all that other shit. Okay? So there's that. So basically, you know, any of my claims are not bogus claims. It's really kind of an analogy. Anything I've talked about is an analogy on some shit DAYLYT suggests happens to one when they unplug from such programs, on some shit like that. Okay? And if I'm observing this same sick world that DAYLYT is saying he wants to wake people up from, how am I not like him that he wouldn't want to get on a track with Tank Lip because he can't associate with people like me that are viewing the world with the same kind of lens that he's viewing the fucking world with? So that's on some bullshit. Okay? And I just gotta talk to that right now, even though I'm on some like flustered shit. I got Dylan La Riviera, Jesse Taylor type and shit if I deviate my attention and start reading their comments, then I lose the train of thought and focus. And I know I had some shit I wanted to get to on this. But really, like, let's talk about that. Associate with people, he can't have that in his life. People like Tank Lip, that sickness, that lack of stability. If I'm sick, well, I'm sick. And acknowledging I'm sick from the same thing DAYLYT suggested would happen when someone unplugs from the sick program that he's against, that he wants to wake people up to, or the people that have woken up to. He wants to make music for those awake people that ain't trying to sleep. So really, he's turning his back on someone that's just like him. Now, on his live feed, I wasn't trying to get on some battle rap shit, or even some Tank Lip versus DAYLYT battle rap shit. I'm basically on the level where I was like, yo, I kind of rock with you, bro. I respect that you're on some shit that I'm seeing too. So let's flip the script on the whole Tank Lip versus DAYLYT thing that I had kind of walked away from anyway after 3 years of being strung along. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta be on your side, bro. I gotta do tracks with you because me and you kind of represent the same beliefs and views. So let's fucking use our strength together for like one superpower and get on tracks. And he's like, nah. And this is like one of the first times he's spoken out. Like really, he's kind of been like in silence about me. Not really coming out of the closet whether he's for me or against me. But today was clearly like against, nah, I can't be on a side with a person like you. And I'm thinking, but dude, you just talked about you're making music for people that really pay attention and listen and are awake. I mean, of all people on his live feed, I was texting shit back and forth. For like everything he said, I had a response. Other people are on like some separate shit, like how much for a feature, you know, some other shit, like I've heard about you, this and that. Like I was having like a real conversation. But he takes a person like that really paying attention, really listening, and then is like, I can't have people like you in my life if you're really sick. When what I'm trying to say is, yes, I am a sick man. And whether you call it mental illness or something else, a sickness that a man has to cope with because of something was caused, I'm observing the same shit where you're saying we're living in a planet, a world where some shit is going on, some real sick shit. And the people living in this world are being affected by it. He's taught, the title of his fucking video was, if you want to change the world, change your world. And that's something I've been forever doing. And the biggest point I made in the Dear DAYLYT letter is the following. This is kind of like the punchline, y'all. If you take one thing out of what the fucking scrambled thoughts and incoherentness and flusteredness of what I'm in right now, because I'm just like so mind-boggled by this. And not to mention Jesse and Dylan are blowing my shit up right now. But I love them. All right. Is the following. That if DAYLYT can make a claim that I'm so together, so intelligent, that I must be some type of government agent, and then this shit that I talk about, that I'm a crazy man, or I have mental illness, is a farce, that it's not real, that if I have all this time on my hands, and this and that, I must be getting some type of assistance, I must be some type of, what do you say? First of all, what are you saying there? The fact that I'm not dead, somehow the fucking enemy that's been against me, I have assistance by what, angels? That are fucking somehow keeping me alive through some shit where there's been an attack and I probably should have been dead by now? Is that what you're saying, DAYLYT? Because I fucking rock with that shit too. I know what I've been through, and I don't know how I'm fucking still standing. So maybe I am getting some fucking assistance, like almost like, forget money. Maybe I'm fucking on some type of version of a life support, only I'm not in a hospital attached to life support. It's more like a puppet string. Yeah, what? But via like digital signals? I'm working on like a DVR or some shit What are you really saying, DAYLYT? I mean, if you want to float your shit out there, fucking elaborate on it, goddammit. All right, but back to the punchline. If you can acknowledge that rather than me being torn apart or destroyed by what I'm acknowledging was basically a program that would destroy me all through time, and somehow I can have actually gained the intelligence and become a very intelligent being, a very awake being is what you seek people to be. Okay? Awake, intelligent, together, stable, not in a hospital where I have decompensated to the point where I can't keep it together, where I'm either in jail or in a hospital or in an institution, institutionalized, a mental institution, some type of thing where I've lost my freedom. If I have remained stable enough to keep it together and be intelligent enough to know the ways to dance around the maze and the obstacles and this circus act of a program that we're going through, and some people are asleep to it, and some individuals like myself are awake to it. You can acknowledge that I have that kind of togetherness, that I could even make, in what I'm calling an incoherent blog, equally a somewhat very competent and coherent blog. I think there's people that understand what the fuck I'm saying. I'm not dystonic right now. Words are coming out of my mouth. I might have some rapid firing shit going on in my brain, but the thoughts are still coming in a somewhat coherent fashion where I can be a voice and speak to the fucking people, Mr. DAYLYT. Okay? If I can do that, there's some stability and togetherness that you're claiming. If that's going on at this point, that I'm so together, there's no way I'm a crazy man, that I must be some type of government agent. Well, fuck the people that wanted me to somehow appear or seem anything other than together. And that may be where I find my willpower and strength to not allow that to happen. But it doesn't mean shit's not going on to try to cause something else. And I've certainly had my moments where I'm not as together as this. So I will finalize this punchline by saying, if you can suggest that I'm so together through all the craziness you know I've gone through and that I know I've gone through, that's a testament of the amazing strength that I could have gone through such hell and such sickness and appear the opposite of sick and affected. Shows I had to tap into that much more self-strength to appear strong. And at this point, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I really, as sick as I am, those are not lost claims. As sick as I am, I'm that much stronger. Where do you think the sayings come from? But it's unfortunate that people have to go through such adversities and challenges so somehow they become strong. But it is what it is. But don't you dare blasphemize my claims when I'm honest about being a sick man that's gone through a sick world, a hell-like world. I'm an honest man. If anything else, those are all truth. And for you to suggest that I'm some type of superpower agent is just a testament of the strength I had to tap into and the strength I am today for getting through all that. All right? And that's why I make a Dear DAYLYT letter, okay, responding to your video feed, which I couldn't do something like this to. It wasn't Skype. So now, you're undermining my text responses there, saying this is what I'm talking about. He be on some shit like that. Someone's like horror movie about to start, and DAYLYT's like, oh, it's already there. No, I got some intelligent shit to say on my behalf and respond. I don't fucking just go down in vain like that. I vindicate when people speak incorrectly on shit. So guess what? 6 trillion fucking DAYLYT blogs? Here's one fucking more for your basket, bitch. Tank Lip.